Go now to DryerBuzz.com and follow at DryerBuzz on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's all about the buzz.
Hey guys, what's going on? I know it is the weekend. That means we gotta do you good. We're gonna do you an episode. We're gonna get you high on the episode, high on life, on an episode of Buzz It or Bash It. I know it's not get out of bed, it's not how to wake up today. It's Saturday, so that means we gotta do a recap. We gotta do a recap of everything that's happening all week, and I'm gonna be in two places checking for comments. Let me see. I think I'm gonna be in two places checking for comments. Let's see where we land. Let's see. I don't know about that one. So look, the dog got the nerve to sigh as if I'm about to disturb him. So Facebook page, the Facebook page. I need you to do something that I do, and that's hit the share button. Now, if you're going to do a watch party, as many of you do, make sure you tag us. One, you want to tag us so that people can know where to come and find some more. And two, we can shout you out, because otherwise Facebook doesn't really let us know where the watch parties are happening. It doesn't really even let us know that we're live here. And I'm checking on another device here to see that we come up and it says, yes, she is live. Okay, so we'll watch the Facebook for comments. Got a couple things I want to talk about. And I wanted to go ahead and do this as a Buzz It or Bash It as opposed to how to get out of bed, because it's talking about the things that were trending this week. And I've got a question about. Two, I'm going to tell you what it's all about. And then three, I can't believe it's really about this. I can't believe this is really about this. So let me see if I can operate this thing the way I think I can operate it. So I'm going to hit this. I'm trying to operate the studio here, guys. Hold on. Look at me telling you to hold on. First question. I don't know what to do first. Okay, let's go ahead and let's do the hug first. I think we did both of those. Okay, now I got to take this off. Okay, there we go. Let's talk. Wait a minute. No, I want that. Hold on. One more thing. Hold on. I hit the wrong thing, y'all. Hold on. I don't know, where is this? Where do I take this off at? There it is, right there. Okay. Let's talk about the hug first. All right. Let's talk about the hug first. And first, let me get one more thing on the screen. God, there's a lot. There's a lot trying to do this. That's why I am headed in with the producer. First and foremost, like as I said, go to DryerBuzz.com, because if I mention anything, you're like, wait, where is she getting that from? It's all linked over at DryerBuzz.com. Most people already got it in their email newsletter that we operate, and goes out a couple times, three or more times a week. For those of you that are looking for content. And let me tell you, 18 years I have been coming to you and bringing you great information at DryerBuzz.com. Another 20 years blogging. Do y'all know, are y'all excited about Y2K? And immediately after this, not on this, because this is going to be around for a while. This kind of stuff going to be around forever. But this opportunity I want to tell you about Y2K20 and what we're going to do over here for you for Y2K20. You want to stay tuned for that and a whole other video. But let's talk about this. The verdict came down. First of all, let me just send a shout out to the family for getting a verdict. In fact, let me send a shout out to the jurors and being brave enough in Texas, nonetheless, to convict. Okay, let's stop right there. I know there's some things that we need to be all together emotional about. Sipping my lemonade, wet the organs, wet my lips. Sorry, but I know there's some things that we should be all together emotional about. I know we were triggered with the hug. We were absolutely triggered back into this forgiveness narrative, which has been around since the beginning of time, and not only because of the construct here in America, but several countries that have done people wrong keep wanting us to gravitate to this forgiveness narrative. So the media or whomever was like, oh, these are the images that set precedents in this case. These are the images that go out there, not the images of putting her in handcuffs and taking her through this door of no return where they take them off to prison. This is the image we're going to trigger everybody with, because it's going to make us our money, our weekend money. Everybody shared it. Hell, I shared it. And I shared it with a conversation to get you to move away from being triggered, because I know it triggers. And one of the things it triggered us on is that we continue to see black people, Africans and African Americans, offering up this forgiveness to people that caused the greatest gap and the greatest divide, the hyphen people that hyphenated us to the point we have to say Africans, they're Africans and then they're African Americans. Okay, by sheer hyphenation alone, we should not be offering up no hugs. Okay, but I want to shout out because I know how difficult it is to get a conviction nonetheless with any type of police and public safety officer that has overexerted their power invested in them towards those that are black and brown. Okay, now mind you, they out here wreaking havoc on everybody. We just 10 times likely to receive this kind of treatment. This woman, having entered into the wrong home, murdered the occupant of that home in cold blood, watched him die, rendered no aid, and those who subconscious, whatever, came upon him. For some reason, they decided this young man was not going to be saved. There's so many atrocities in this case. And there's so much conversation that he didn't even make it into. There was so much speculation. There was so much conspiracies, things that weren't allowed to make it into the case, but still yet and saying they came back with a conviction. So shout out to the jurors. Now I don't want to subject myself as to why any explanation they have for the sentencing, and I may at a time, but I feel like I have absorbed, and you should feel that way too. We've absorbed a lot, and I know we can't look away. We shouldn't want to look away. We shouldn't turn away, but you got to be mindful, depending on what your triggers are, on what you are subjecting yourself to, because we've gotten to a point now where we're seeing so much in social media where our mind cannot tell that whether these things are happening to us or not, because we're inundating ourselves with these images. You did not hug this woman. Okay. Can I just tell you that? Some people need to hear that. You were not in that courtroom. You were not on trial. You are not being asked to forgive her. You did not hug that woman. I know you see yourself in the young man. You see yourself in his faith. You see yourself in the struggle and the trauma that his family has gone through. But you did not forgive nor hug that woman. All right? So separate yourself in that part first. But I'm here to tell you, black folk, brown folk, we need a new religion. We stop right now. We need a new religion. I remember when the movie Black Panther came out. Y'all got to learn how to look for things that are adjacent. That's the word, adjacent, okay? That's the word of the day, adjacent. There are a lot of times when things appear in media, when media takes the time to put out imagery, audio, video, when they decide that they're going to manipulate emotions, disseminating information, abstract, MEDIA, Gary Busey, the word media, manipulate emotions, disseminating information, abstracts, right? When they decide to give you that abstract piece of information, oh, look, the brother of the deceased and the judge hugged the convicted murderer. That's crazy. That's just like Trayvon mama going, or daddy or brother. Imagine Trayvon brother going up there and hugging the vigilante that shot down in cold blood Trayvon Martin. Right? This man is still out there to this day. Florida didn't come back with a conviction. They refused. They wanted to invite a vigilante back in, and he's still 200% a vigilante. He's still down there and wherever he's at, torturing and people, following people, doing everything he was doing before. They invited him back into society. They're part of society. Okay? So when we get to this part right here, but let me say this. Largely, when there's a conversation about racism and discrimination and prejudice and things like that, black people largely have that conversation. I hope, and no, I'm not even gonna say largely. It's a 80-20 split, and I'm gonna be real lenient on the 80-20 because really it's a 60-30-10. But people not real good at math, so I'm gonna just do the 80-20. It's an 80-20 split, okay? When we talk about these things and when we react to these things emotionally, and I'm watching for the comments on the Facebook page. When we react to these things emotionally, It's not because we trying to get people to show their own redemption, show some kind of like figure this out, like this is what y'all do to people. No, we reacted to this emotionally because black people don't even hug people like that. Black people don't hug each other like that. Black people don't offer up that kind of redemption to each other like that. We still mad at the little bit of acts of unkindness that we show to one another. So reacting to this is like, especially as it relates to religion. Have you visited some of these churches? Do you not see how people are going at it in the parking lot over parking spaces? How they run in, drop that money off, get a little praise, and run on back out to that car and about to run over each other again. People running around talking about they blessed and highly favored, ain't asking God to bless nobody else, ain't asking God to show favor to nobody. They just all up into the favor that they have received, right? I mean, black folk need a new religion. I was getting ready to talk about Black Panther. When the Black Panther movie came out, there was a conversation adjacent to the Black Panther movie when they saw that there were scenes in the Black Panther movie that would alter the mindset of those who believe in certain religions, meaning that, wait a minute, there's a scene where they go visit their ancestors. There's a scene where they alter the state of being to where they are walking, talking with the ancestors, and the ancestors got stories to tell. And don't nobody like when dead people start talking. Okay? I got a whole book over here called My Folks Don't Want Us to Talk About Slavery. Right? Like, don't nobody like when dead people start talking and you going out there talking about you still got a connection. They called it incest. There was the adjacent conversation. Things that happen in countries where that religion is part of the construct, there's always the worry and the concern that people realize, oh wait, the religion part is just the brainwashing to keep you in a certain place. They don't want people to figure that out. There are those that don't want people to figure that out, and it's about an 80-20 thing. And it's always funny how in religion, 80% follow 20% instead of the other way around. Like, well, how would that happen? You have no concept of it, right? In religion, there's such a vast difference between the 20% that govern religion and what they have available to them and the 80% that sit in the audience every day. And see, I got this thing about go from the audience to the stage, right? I'm like I need to know what's going on. I'm coming up there. I need to see behind the curtain. I need to see, oh my God, the wizard he's just a man. You're nothing but a phony. I'm sorry, but you're nothing but a phony. And this is what phony religions end up on. I understand you're supposed to forgive. Hell, that's the wrong word. They expected Jesus to forgive coming off that cross. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do scripture, I'm not gonna go deep dive. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Those are my personal beliefs, and I expect them to stay personal, okay? But black folk need another religion. So you need to check out some adjacent conversations. If you were triggered and didn't understand how this young man, when he sat on that stand and the conversation he was having out loud, the permission he asked the judge in order to go and hug this woman was so that he could have better days. So that he could have better days, because everything within his religion that and how he should live now and in the hereafter said that he needed to forgive. He needed, as she went through that door of hopefully no return, where they already plotting and planning and when she's going to be out. Okay, because it's gonna make a nice ending to the Lifetime movie, and I'd be surprised these two didn't end up married, because they got this thing now in our prison systems, where people keep in contact, people who wrong people keep in contact with the people that they have wronged. They have regular meetings and sessions to understand it, because we need to know that I don't know, we keep trying to figure out how is it that human can forgive, but we yet want to dive in. How is it the human can kill? I don't want to study why he could forgive her. I want to know how she could kill, how she could murder someone in their own home. Because I'm right now sitting live in my podcast, and mind you, and I have had that experience. I talked about this, where somebody entered my home thinking they were in theirs, because they all look alike. And this person was highly impaired. They were intoxicated, and the door was not unlocked. Of it was people that were over. Opened the door and they came on in, fell right on the couch. Dude, this ain't your house, that ain't your couch. It's like this man is gonna fell out on your couch. You know him? No, who is he? Where'd he come from? What's going on? He was highly intoxicated. Yes, he turned and came in the wrong place, came up the steps, knocked on the door, came out there, and I had to get the translator out. He was Hispanic. I had to get the translator out. Like, dude, you don't get the heck up off my couch. I'm over there trying to get Google translate this. Dude, if you don't get the heck up off my couch, get out. I'm gonna call the police, y'all. And I'm over there saying this stuff to him in Spanish with the broom in my hand. Now I didn't have a gun. That could have gone so wrong. It could have. It could have. It happens. But again, this was a person who was highly intoxicated. I mean, he was so intoxicated. He probably could have died, right? I mean, it was like he was highly impaired. Here's a person who it was a police officer. So when the scenario happened, but then you go, wait, you killed a man? Y'all didn't take time to figure out, like, wait, why are we in each other's face? Why are you not dressed? Oh wait, that's not my TV. That's not. Oh Lord Jesus, because I know every day I walk in my house. I got kids that stop by. Every day I walk in, I usually stand right there at the front door. First one, making sure ain't nobody up in here but me. I'm like, wait, there's some things out of place. You know, what you do? I don't know about y'all. I open the door and I scan, right? I scan for the mail because I'm like, that's a trigger for me. I'm like, damn, they done went to the mailbox again. There's a whole other stack of bills. I don't know how y'all enter y'all house, but that's how I enter mine. I open the door and I look in the mail. Like there's a stack right there, right? And if it ain't changed, good. I got another 24 hours. If it has, oh Lord Jesus, what's in the mail now, right? And I just heard that the dividend checks is out, so I need to go check the mail. I'm just saying the dividends came. I think somebody posted. Did y'all get y'all? I'm like, let me go get mine. Let me go check my mail because United Postal System has a thing now. If you're not checking your mail on time, they will put it abandoned. And you got to go to the post office and restart your mail because apparently we got a postmaster that does some work now, making the mail folk, the postal system do some actual work. So if you're not going to your mailbox continues to stack up, they will then cancel you. We're going to wake up cancel. I'm like, what? So when I come in, I scan for the mail. I scan, make sure the fridge is closed because I got that one child that don't close nothing, leave everything open. I make sure I'm not about to trip over nobody's shoes because everybody come in and kick off the shoes. Some of us place them neatly to the side. Others, they all over the place. One of them might be in the recliner in the neighborhood looking for lunch. Done seen a live stream where I'm cooking. They done come over to fix something to eat, right? I'm scanning the dog. Where's the dog? Is the dog gonna come running? That means I can't sit down. He got to go right back out. If he chilling, I get to come in and say, these are the things that, but now mind you, if I hear something, I'm going to be like, okay, who is that? Then, you don't want to ask who is that, and then the wrong voice answer back. So, but when you walk in your house, when you walk into your domicile, no matter how preoccupied you are, I don't think I've ever come in and I'm totally preoccupied. I did, yes, as a matter of fact, I did. Yesterday, I'm standing there, I'm looking for them, like waiting for the dog to come from down the hall, running, trying to see what's going on. At first, he old as I am, so I'm listening for him to get up, And I just came out of caregiver mode. I used to have to listen. All of these things take place right there at the front door. All of this, y'all, I go through all of this right there. First thing I do, I make sure I don't close and lock the door behind me because I know this is my ritual when I enter my domicile. I take a deep breath, try to figure out, has anybody cooked? Like yesterday, Petty Betty made some good old burgers, right? And y'all seen our burgers, so I'm like, I'm coming in. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. You think I still wasn't going to have a burger? I've been thinking about that burger all day. I'm coming in. I'm taking a deep whiff. I'm trying to wonder, like, wait, did she put them in the fridge yet? Or are they still on the stove? I'm like, she knew I was going to come home and eat, but she didn't already put it in the fridge. But yet the house still smells good because we got the indoor grill and she grilled the burgers, right? All this is going through my mind as I enter the domicile, my own domicile. And I'm looking for stuff that's out of place. Where's the remote? My remote better be, this is my routine. My remote better be where I look for the freaking remote. It better be where I left it. Because again, if it's not, I know somebody done come by. It may not even be no more burgers left. Because they done came and had a whole full-on cookout, right? All the burgers. Because I don't want to be disappointed about the burger. But, mind you, she supposedly, this chick, Amber Geiger, was on the phone. Well, even preoccupied on the phone, you open your door, you come in, you want to put your things down or make a beehive. Then she heard something. Oh, she heard something, so therefore she weren't preoccupied no more. She went into police mode. Come out, show your hands, whatever. All these commands you trying to give a person in their own home. Still, you take a deep breath. I mean, you are a trained police officer, supposedly to notice your surroundings. But what was in her surroundings? What was in her surroundings? The person that she has been trained to kill. That was the number one thing in her surroundings. So she didn't notice anything else. All she noticed was the person who looked like what she had been trained to kill. Now I'm told they don't get this training in the police academy. They might get this training through various associations, particularly the need for this kind of training that comes through the media and all of these different things. So I'm going to apply all things adjacent to this conversation. Media, blood on your hands. You are so adjacent to this conversation because there is no reason in this world to train a white female to kill a black male, something whom she often lusts for. There's no reason for her to know to kill this thing unless it comes through media. And media feeds the discrimination, racism, prejudice, and so forth. And if you ask anybody in any of these associations where that is their belief, well, how do you know that that's the thing? Well, I see it on the news. I see it on the news how they do each other and all this kind of stuff. It's all up in the hip hop music. Well, hell, it's in the country music too. It's in the hip hop music, and I don't even know if it's in the hip hop music because hell, y'all buy more than that than we do. Right? And I do know it's in the country music, okay? I'm just saying. So anyway, so now we're back to this, where then takes the life, and then apparently after the life has fallen before her, then realized, I guess what his body fell and hit. Oh wait, that ain't my couch. He bleeding on. Oh wait, that ain't my table. That blood spilling there. That ain't my rug. This dead man ain't in my house. Oh, let me leave. Okay? Let me call somebody. I need you. I have killed what I have been trained to murder. I have taken the life of what I've been trained to take a life of. And he is bleeding on what I thought was my couch. What I thought was what do you mean he's bleeding? Y'all, I'm just saying. Because you got to sit on the stand and process that and want to hug her rather than have to live with that and all that adjacent conversation. I mean, I watched this young man. I'm like, whoa, he going through it. He going through it. And he said to her, you have no idea. You already know. In fact, he said to her, you already know how much pain, what you've done to my family. But what I can't let happen is I can't let you continue to do that. And he proceeds to ask the judge, can he give a hug? And the judge is like, what? Can you do what? Rather than strike that from the record, we don't do that here. The judge goes, well, I'm about to sentence somebody on the police department. I got to live in this city. I got to live in the state of Texas. Yeah, you better go on over there and hug her. You better. In fact, I'm gonna follow behind you. We're gonna redeem this one, right? We're not gonna send her off. Not gonna send her through the door of what ought to be the door of no return. It ought to be a door of no return, but we're gonna send her through that for a little bit of time. And you go hug her. I'm gonna hug her. We're gonna give her a Bible, and hopefully when she go to prison, she won't get with the rest of her association and plot against us all. Or these folk out here we got to live with won't take us out because that's something they do in Texas. I'm just saying. Buzz it or bash it. Buzz it or bash it. Now here, the rest of us out here triggered because dang, we ain't even loving on each other like that. And we've done far less to each other. We have done far less to each other than this. And yet, when the last time you had a hug? Are you just out here hugging foes and more? You hug a foe or you hug a friend? We don't even hug a friend. We don't even hug family. We don't even hug people out here. In fact, there is an app. There's an app where you can go and book a hug. You can go and pay for time for somebody to hold you, y'all. I promise you, I ain't lying. Now, it's been out there on Craigslist, and now Things that started out on the crazy section of Craigslist is now the norm. There are people who take their good hard earned money and they go and pay somebody to stroke their ego and a few other things, but to hold them passionately, deep bone hug, release it, cry, sit in my lap. All this it's a job. Anybody unemployed? Anybody got arms enough to wrap around somebody? Go hug somebody. They pay for it. It's a premium service this day and age. And to those of y'all in the future, in Y2K19, Y2K19 is getting ready to be Y2K20. There is a full-on career of hugging people, and it's part of the mental health. And people who can't afford it can go get a good grant stipend, funding for it, so they can go get hugged up enough. So when we have these kind of conversations, while there is a pathology to it, while it's all part of a construct of our countries, okay, and continents, while forgiveness is a narrative we all would love to see, but it's such a one-sided thing. This thing triggered everybody because what we want to see is we want to see us do better than that. I went out last night, and let me tell y'all, I don't know about y'all, and I know we got tensions with other folk, but black people, we got tension with each other. You can sense it when we make eye contact. I'm out here like smiling at folk, and I'm like, because that's just what I do. You're gonna look at me, you're gonna stare at me, I'm gonna smile at you. We make eye contact, I'm gonna greet you. Right? And I know that's a strange thing. That's a strange thing for many to experience. Let me get my share on here. That's a strange thing for many to encounter and experience, but it's just what 20% of us do. 20% of us ain't all mad. Now I'm not mad. I'm not angry. Not mad because mad is motivated and determined. But 20% of us, we're not all angry. I'm not angry. Yeah, I know black people and I can only talk about black people because my skin is black. I'm brown. I'm black. So I can only talk about that. Now, I've got some good friends that of all nationalities. And then can I just say I love people from California? People from California, y'all crack me the hell up. There's a lot of, Hollywood is in Atlanta, right? So there are a lot of people coming to Atlanta from California. And they don't understand how black people and white people walk around here. How you identify. You might identify. There are two things in Georgia. Okay, when you come to Georgia, I don't care what you are. You're either going to identify as white or black. You got to pick a side because that's the war in Georgia, right? So there are people that come here. There are people that come here and they witness those of us that have chosen either black or white, and how we ignore each other. We can be side by side on the elevator, parking next to each other, walking past each other in the stores, and we don't see each other. We ignore each other. Then here come that California person want to have a conversation with everybody. I had this new friend. Of course, they're a new friend because that's what California people do, right? Because they live California. New York even though New York is full of diversity. It's like they like, no, don't get in my space. Don't come at me. I ain't talking to you. We not here. We don't see each other. But California dreaming, y'all, be cracking me up. This guy came in, he was asking me, he's like, are you from Atlanta? Yeah, I'm from Atlanta. He's like, so you know about this? He says, what is it? I said, where you from, California? He's like, yeah. I said, because y'all talk to everybody. People from you want a hug, a person from California going to give you a hug. And they don't care who you are, and you ain't supposed to care who they are. People from California, that West Coast, and I got some great West Coast supporters out there. And it's so funny because since the existence of DryerBuzz, I have always had, how you go out and you check I don't know about y'all, you check your insights, your stats, your analytics. And California be rocking it. I don't care what I post. California is on it. They want to know because they understand the value. There's a value because a lot of the things that happen in different parts of the country, it went on in California too. They had more riots out there than we've had than any other place. As many riots as many places. See, on the East Coast, nobody recalls the riots, right? And some of the riots, they don't want to recall the riots on the West Coast either. But they've had them, and they've had more in modern day times than we've had in other parts of the world. So they realize, okay, either we're going to coexist, or we're going to self-destruct, coexist or self-destruct. So they're probably looking at this thing. It's like, whoa, East Coast. It's Midwest. This happened in Texas, but simply because this ain't the time of Juneteenth, news travels far and wide and fast. News travels far and wide and fast, and so instantly, before they got a chance to say why there was this hugging of this killer, instantly, so before people had to process it before the information was actually out there. Like, why am I seeing this man walk from the stand and hug? And did y'all see she ran into his arms? She ran. I'm like, they ran to each other like a long lost love story. She ran into his arms and in that hug and in that embrace. It happened. It was like a daggone magnet. I'm like, this gonna be a good Lifetime movie. How many of y'all gonna watch it? Everybody's gonna watch this movie. It's like a Lifetime movie. So anyway, I want to move on from this, but understand that the majority of the conversation around why there was a hug is not because we are living with the hope and pray that white folks wake up one day and they don't have disdain. Their heart is not, the hearts of many are not as cold. And I don't even want to say, and I hate saying white people, because I know they're not as cohesive. They're not a total group like the rest of us, right? So I hate saying that, because they long since disassociated. It's like, oh, this one about to be sacrificed. We done with her, right? So they long since disassociated themselves from this one. But anyway, the conversation that's going on and people are talking about the hug is simply because black people, since the construct of slavery in America and other countries that had the same thing, won't even give that kind of compassion. And many of you said this in the comments. Wait, we don't show each other that kind of compassion. We don't. Now, I don't know if we want to, nobody, I don't think many of people want to say that or have that said in public, but we don't. We just don't. And we want to get to that point. So when we put these things out there, most people hit that share button on this hug and that like button on that hug to say to those they're connected with, look at this, look what's going on here. We don't even love each other like that, and yet we live together. We under the same roof. We raising children together. We work together. We all up at the cookout. How many of y'all used to arrive at the cookout and man, there was a whole receiving line and hugs and just love, right? You arrive at the cookout now and it's like, honey, I'm telling you, it's insane. But let's get, and I'm not gonna say get past, so let's move on to the next thing that we have. That's one of the things that I think is the biggest trend buzzing down the town. That's something that made us stop and buzz it or bash it more so than the verdict. The verdict conversation, there's a conversation out there from the juror. Two of the jurors have already spoken, and usually that happens right after they go to a podium or in front of media and talk about why they made the decision. I really wasn't, and the thing about it is, let's talk about the fact that nobody expected a conviction. But you know what? Interesting enough, they got a conviction without trotting this case all out and into the media every day. They put it out there. Hey, listen, they did what they had to do to get the jury that they got, to get through the grand jury, to get an indictment. They did what they had to do, and they got it, and then they got a conviction. There are so many other cases that don't even get past the grand jury. Oh, we find no reason to indict, and so they got that. And I'm throwing shots fired at this because I'm saying that they didn't do it with that same oligarchy of black leadership. It wasn't. They didn't take that mode to get this done, because too many of the cases that went that route did not get an indictment, did not get a conviction, and those people are certainly not, as of now, serving time. So, shout out to this, and it's not the family. Shout out to the prosecution, and even the family at that length, for getting this thing done. But if somebody shared, look, understand they probably shared it because they want us. We are always and forever trying to get us back to a point of black love and where we loving on each other. And that's why we have so many conversations like this after the fact, after somebody has experienced racism, prejudice, discrimination, or certain constructs again that we have in several countries, America being one of them, and so forth and so on. All right, next. Okay, before I get to this, before I get to the last thing, or next to the last thing, we're gonna do about 3 stories in this, guys. This next one, let me see if it will work. There we go. Okay, good, we got it. And for those of you listening to the podcast, I'm over here trying to operate some technologies in the live environment while we're recording this live on our channels. It will also, as you know, become a podcast immediately thereafter for you to enjoy it all and enjoy for all. But on Saturday, instead of doing how to get out of bed, we go ahead and do a full-on Buzz of the Bastion because we need to review the week. We need to review some of these things that might have kept us from getting out of bed. I don't know about y'all, but I had trouble getting up the next day after seeing that hug when most of us don't even know what a hug feels like. All right. Whew. Biden, Bernie, Warren, Biden, Sanders, Warren, Biden, Joe, Bernie, Elizabeth. I love how we call them Joe, Bernie, and Elizabeth. Most we said Biden. Which one of them can get this done? That's the question. And Elizabeth, is it me or is she like Zuckerberg wear the same thing all the time? I've been trying to find some pictures of Elizabeth Warren. I've been trying, y'all, to find some pictures of Elizabeth Warren and without this black shirt and colored jacket. And mind you, I understand the travel. I understand being preoccupied with fashion and wardrobe. I still, to this day, am trying to find my Zuckerberg wardrobe. Like, what can I find that I could just wake up and not have to think about it, that it is good for all occasions. But see, I'm black. Okay? That's one thing about it. Black folk ain't going to let you wear the same thing. Like, where they do that? Didn't you have it on yesterday? Well, not particularly this. I bought several of these. Okay, no, you need to change it up. Right? I get so tired. That's one of the reasons why I don't go to events right now. I'm so tired of getting dressed. I look at look. It could be the simplest event. I'm like, what is with this dress code? It should be business casual. It should be hella casual. What is this? What do they mean? What is this dress code on this type of event? That's why half of the stuff I don't even go to it no more. I'll take my long lens. I'm gonna take some pictures from across the street. This weekend is all kind of events going on in Atlanta. I'm gonna roll by, snap, keep it moving. Cause I don't want to get dressed. I ain't trying to get dressed. Like there's a I don't even want to talk about the events because I am not in their budget. So let me just not talk about them. But there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend, and I'm just gonna snap. Oh look, this was over there. And I'm gonna crop out my rear view, crop out my side mirror, because I'm literally gonna take it as I am rolling by. I'm not even rolling up. I'm not like, oh, this happened, right? And some of it I might crop the window out. I may not. I may like, whoa, she took that road. In fact, I might leave and they just call it the buzz roll by. I'm gonna leave the side mirror in it. In fact, I might even take the picture in the side mirror. Once I get to the red light, I'm going to take a picture. Oh, this is what's going on back there. Right? But as you can see, we kept it moving. But let me ask you though, seriously. One of the questions, and I posted it, I didn't post it as a poll or anything like that, but I did ask, can one of these three people is not like the other, as they say on Sesame Street, those of us that grew up on Sesame Street, one of these is not like the other. One of them just had a heart procedure, meaning that he had some stents placed, which means he got some blockages. It means if he don't hurry up become president, he's still on them good, even though he got good benefits as a senator. If he don't hurry up become president, because the one thing they do is they keep the president alive. Jimmy Carter is over there suffering from the same things. Well, he ain't suffering. Jimmy Carter is over there, and former President Jimmy Carter, whom I know very well, and I'm not dropping names and just telling you, been in the game a while, have had the opportunity to work on some initiatives that he signed off on and so forth, and had the opportunity to actually host them for lunch. Again, not dropping names, but I've been in that kind of conversation with world leaders. And when I say that, I mean world leaders, and that's why world leaders follow me on Twitter and tweet me occasionally. So anyway, and that's my opinion. And so anyway, Bernie Sanders had a heart procedure. And if he doesn't hurry up and become president, he won't be kept alive. Jimmy Carter's over there diagnosed with many things that normal, regular, everyday Americans are facing and not getting the same health care. Excuse me while I take a sip. And not getting the same health care. Certainly not getting the same diagnosis, and certainly not being kept alive as our 90 plus, I think just turned 93-year-old former president. They keep the president alive as long as possible. I mean, look at Bush. Whoa, how long y'all gonna roll that alone around? But anyway, so God rest his soul. God rest his soul. But I mean, and Biden put out a Facebook ad, and I'm pretty sure it's on all other platforms. I saw it on Facebook because that's where I am. And he's, they all are out soliciting for money. Elizabeth, I have not seen any kind of endorsement, anything paid for by the party to elect Elizabeth. They're not even advertised. They're not promoting to me. They're not advertising to me. I ain't received no robocall. I ain't received no like, no tweet, no follow from Elizabeth Warren. And I guess she said, well, she ain't all that down with the feminists, so we might not even. She would be a heavy cost. If you want my vote, I'm a heavy cost. You're gonna be looking at your Facebook ad analytics like, damn, she cost us a lot of money to get a like from her, right? Because they're spending. When you place a Facebook ad, the one thing that Facebook is going to tell you how much each of those likes cost, how much each of those engagement. If somebody hit a like or went to, follow a click through, went to your page and like, they're gonna tell you how much that costs. I got an ad running now, and it cost me 2 cents to get a person on my page. Okay, 2 cents. And I had another ad running where it was costing me 50 cents. I'm like, okay, this ad got to go until we get a good profile on who we really want on that page. We're gonna pause this ad, right? I'm just saying, this is the nature of business. I get one every now and then from a couple of them. What's the guy? I can't remember. Oh, the Castro. I get an ad from Castro now and again. All right, but you're not gonna get my vote, boo boo. I'm sorry, cause he just not. And I think too, I think he came out of Texas. I ain't sending nothing for Texas too. We didn't send Governor Rick Perry, right? Who ended up having to get out of the race because of all the controversial and contradictory stuff that goes on in Texas. So we ain't voting for nothing come out of Texas, and make it so bad. He's a twin, and the twin is already, I think, in office or wherever they're both in politics. I'm like, no, sorry. Sorry to this. What is the hashtag? Sorry, I'm sorry to this man. Okay, you're not gonna get the vote, right? And I know when we look at this thing, we look at it and we say we really feel like some of them are just vying for vice president anyway. Some of them are vying because they want it on their resume. I don't know why all these people are running for president. I don't even know why they're still on the ballot. But let me tell you what you better get ready for, because before you get to vote for any one of these people, you will need to go out and you need to check and see how the delegates are chosen in your area. Because some of y'all, how we got all these different ways in which the people who are chosen to go and make the nomination. See, these people right now are not vying for president. The Democratic candidates are not vying for president. They are vying for the nomination. Well, the people who get to go there say the good state of Georgia, the good state of Colorado, the good state of Florida, the good state of this and the good state of that, and the people, we have no representation over here. We just here, we don't get to make a nomination. The people who have a good caucus, people who have a good primaries, they just go and they just go and flip some stones over here and they decide. Well, the people who get to do all of that, before these people need to ask you, can they go and represent you? And in some places, that's going to require you to go out and vote. Some places you're going to have to swipe. Some places you're going to have to go shake a hand, And these are the ones that are getting ready to announce that they want to become that person. You could become that person if you hadn't thought about that. right? If you want to go be able to go and make that good. I'm trying to figure out the press credential because I'm like, it's been so long since I requested press credentials. I'm like, I had to tell a friend, look, can you look that up for me? I'm forever delegating. I'm like, can you look that up and see if our podcast can get up in there? Let's get let's get X amount of episodes because they're gonna want X amount of episodes, right? So let's get these episodes done so that we can request credentials and go off into this convention, right? And we should go to both of them, the Republican and the Democrat, okay? And if they have one for the independents and the green and all this, we should go to all of them. So those, before you get to vote for any one of these, you will need to decide who that person is that's going to represent you, that's going to give one of these many people your nomination from your state. But the question is, can Bernie, Joe, and Elizabeth, are they holding our attention? Do they already do one of these three people, or Kamala, Corey? And Corey don't have my attention. Now I love how Corey has come up in the ranks. So I just really feel like Corey is vying for the first black VP. I just really feel like, because I think I probably got like one ad, and I maybe see some two. Beto O'Rourke. Beto, I don't know if it's Beto himself or he didn't hire somebody on the team, but they doing too much. You're trolling Trump too much, because the thing about it is, Hillary should have trolled Trump. She didn't do that. So at this point, y'all, if you want a Democratic president, you really got to figure out how to do this. And so I'm asking, are these people holding our attention? And then also I want to ask about this impeachment. Like, you're trying to get this impeachment done for a person who has merely days left in the White House. Days. And I know it's a couple, 300 or more, but it's still days. It's like it's coming, what they call the lame duck year. He's got to spend this year getting reelected. And y'all working on impeachment. Are you trying to, is it because you looking at, like us, looking at this field of candidates and realizing we're not going to get this election done. We're going to have to just get this man out of office, because if you impeach him, Pence going to have to go, because whatever you tie him to, Pence is such a quiet follower that he going to be tied to it too. So basically, are we trying within this last year to make Nancy Pelosi president, and then she just run to be elected? Is that like the game plan? Because I need to know, is that plan A or is that plan B? Which one of these is plan B? Because we know you take the plan B after you done effed up, right? I'm just saying. By definition, plan B is when plan A don't work. So I'm trying to figure out, and I'm pretty sure some others are too, which one of these is plan A? Because I'm not understanding. Kamala was speaking recently. She barely took the steps to the stage, and they were like, no. She was, y'all, listen, and for my dear presidential candidates and politicians, we scroll through social media with the sound down. So the first thing that speaks to us is the body language. Okay, your body language is coming through. I was trying to watch. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna change up my third hour of television morning news. And I don't even watch the news. I just have it on in the background. Al Roker, I've been getting his Instagram. They like, you cooking, this dude cooking. Y'all both brown. You might like what he's cooking. He might like. So I don't know if I'm in his timeline, but they done threw him all up in my timeline. So I'm looking. I'm like, okay, cool. Al does the weather. He got the cooking show and all this kind of stuff. This look kind of strange. Look like some strange stuff going on between he and his wife. He made some comments. I'm like, but then people said that's marriage. Okay, you learn to leave that alone. We ain't gonna blog about that. But this was strange. That's a strange looking couple. But then on top of that, first of all, and then too, he worked with NBC, and they done found out that pretty much all the marriages of the people at NBC are strained because of all the stuff that go on for the sheer reason of being employed at NBC. So, but yeah, I'm seeing that Al done had hip surgery. You used to have that wobble. He needed hip replacement surgery. I'm like, what? My dad got that wobble. I'm like, Dad, I need to find out if Dad needed hip replacement. Dad got some good benefits. Like, say, can Dad go get that hip replacement? Maybe Dad, you might. And Dad jumped up probably done jumped on here somewhere. He might need that hip because he had that wobble like Al Roker. So Al Roker, I'm seeing on Instagram that had a hip replacement, and he was talking about, hey, I'm returning to the third hour. Well, we know our good girl Tamron Hall, who has a show. Damn, I should have pulled some of that up on here because that's really a buzz it or bash it. In fact, let me get our. No, we're gonna get back to the candidates. Let me leave it on the screen. So I go over there to watch. Damn, this is a serious buzz it or bash it on Al Roker. So Al was talking about, and Al, as far as we know, Al is a good guy. But but again, most of the men on the NBC side, they done found some skeletons hanging all out the closet, right, and got rid of some folk, and they brought in some new guys. But Al is holding on even after they got rid of Tamron Hall. Tamron Hall went and got married, had a baby. Now her show is on, and it's really good. She's going real strong on the I'm gonna make America do right narrative. We know they don't last too long, so she better go and start making people have some good times and stuff like that. But she's a journalist, and I love that comes through on her show. And I probably should have brought that on screen. But anyway, so I decided, let me change it. Let me see what's going on this other end of the dial. And hearing that Al Roker is going back to the third hour, I'm like, what's going on with the third hour? Who's on the third hour? So I turn it over there, and I see Al. He's in his chair. And I'm like, why is Al? First of all, why doesn't Al Roker have the third hour by himself? I don't know why he didn't have it by himself. But I noticed it's a panel thing. Okay, it's him, a female next to him, and a male is in. Maybe he was off that day, and another female. But I noticed the female next to Al, she got this body language because I ain't turned the sound on yet because I'm scrolling down my timeline trying to figure out. I heard him say on the no, I'm looking at him on television, and they said something about, oh, go over to our Instagram, we got this quiz, and if you answer this quiz, you can win this or do that, or we'll shout you out or whatever. And so I'm like, I love a good TV shout out. Let me go look at the Instagram. But I'm like, before I can go look at the Instagram, I'm like, why is she always leaning away from Al? She's always, her body language is like, oh, you back? But then I said, let me go to Instagram. I'm like, is she always, that's like, she's always like leaning away. If a person is engaging and you got trust for that person, you lean in. She's leaning away, always and forever leaning away. So that pulled me off. That got me preoccupied. But now I'm going to get back. Bernie, Biden, and Warren. Bernie is out there having heart procedures, which I think is gonna scare some folk. And I don't know, but at the same time he was up there having that good. He might have needed that stent place because he raised, I think they said about $23 million. Y'all, he said the average money he get was $27. I don't know what it is this time around, in this second another next election of his, but he raised the most money of everybody of the three. Biden, I think they said, came in third or fourth. Warren is hanging in there. I mean, she's doing the thing. Warren talks a good game. I think if we were ready for a woman president, and I won't say female president, but if we were ready for a woman president, and she and Kamala, ran this campaign, I think that the pause that she gives is she speaks passionately at times on certain subjects. But if you ask her something to bend her off script just a little bit, she starts stuttering. And she, like most Democrats, speak as if they have to do something for you and not with you, and certainly not they're doing what they're doing because of you, because of your vote, because of your support, because of your money, because you elected them. They have that savior mentality, and this ain't the climb to becoming that. Folks, particularly the demographic that can rock the vote, black women. You don't want to be out here talking about you done been over backwards for black women, because first thing they're going to tell you, I didn't ask you to do that. Don't you hate when you do something for somebody and they go, well, I didn't ask you to do it, right? And I know we ain't asked. We asked for somebody else. Most people ask for Michelle Obama, but Michelle Obama then already told you why she's not ready for president. Go out there and look it up. In fact, I'll share it right after this. She done already told you. So the people we have asked to lead the nation, like, y'all don't know what y'all are asking. Michelle said, y'all don't know. Michelle said, listen, we know y'all like us, but you don't know what you are asking when you are asking a person to run for president. Y'all done asked Biden, And only because of the ask, only because of the fear that people think that can't nobody else get this done, take down the giant that has become the giant Trump. Biden has jumped back in this race, tired and exhausted, and it is incoherent as he is. He is out there. His campaign said, listen, y'all, asked me to do this. I need your $5. That's all he asked. He's out there asking for $5. As I sip my lemonade, my homemade lemonade, no artificial flavors, no artificial colors, and that big burst of lemonade just went in my mouth. It's so good. I don't mean to give you no ASMR on this thing. But anyway, but are they holding our attention? Here's the question we have for the Democrats. And believe you me, I know enough Democrats, I know enough political leaders, and they'll look in, they'll like DryerBuzz talking about politics. They'll come and check it out. And they'll ask me, what did you mean by this? You know, usually they'll post. If y'all go on social media and do this, search DryerBuzz, huh? Because that's the first thing. Because I speak in future tones. I speak in future tones. I'm talking about things that you have yet to broach as a conversation. I speak in Afrofuturism, meaning that I'm speaking from foresight more so than hindsight. So my question to you today is, well, all of these people are still in the political race, and the only reason they are still in the political race is because they are not yet afraid of those who are become delegates. When they see who's about to become delegates, and when I tell y'all wait and see who's about to solicit to become the delegates, who's going to control. When they see who's about to control this, the nomination, not the narrative, but the literal nomination, some of these folk gonna drop out because they done some of these folk wrong. And I'm grabbing this stuff from the overheard. And ain't nobody made me privy to the overheard. I'm just where I need to be to overhear. And when they find out who is about to control that nomination, some of these folk gonna get out the race because they have done these people wrong. And most people, if you ever know something about a villain, I'm getting ready to go see the Joker. Hopefully it's playing where I went the other night. And I ain't in their budget either, so I ain't gonna talk about them. But I'm gonna go see the Joker because I love a good villain. Because I need to know, what did you do to the villain? Let me tell you, my grandmother, my mother's mother, used to always get mad when we would go along with the narrative coming through the television. What? I know y'all ain't in here cheering for the Cowboys and certainly not John Wayne. John Wayne, in fact, John Wayne movies wasn't even allowed in her house, okay? You know, in fact, I went on a trip to California. She told, there's a statue out there. You better not take a picture with it. John Wayne. My grandmother couldn't stand John Wayne, and she couldn't stand Elvis. Oh, I can tell you, honey. I can tell y'all where we were when Elvis died. We was all in the back seat of my grandfather's car before he got the new. My grandfather, I think this is before he bought the new. I don't know if he had bought the new LTD or not, but he always had this car that could ride all the grandkids. And see, back in the day, you could you didn't have to wear seatbelts and all that kind of stuff. And all the grandkids, my grandparents was absolutely awesome as far as their grandchildren were concerned. So we were riding past what used to be called Rockdale. It's gentrifying this, a bunch of new semi-million-dollar estates over there now, and trying to be. But anyway, we were riding down Rockdale, and it came across the radio, and they had put on the radio on one of the stations that let us listen, so we could sit down and be quiet. And I think we were on our way to the egg house, and this was a manufactured place where you go and you would buy a case of eggs. And we were out. My grandfather, you know when they got their pensions and whatnot, they got to go buy up all this stuff because they got all these grandkids, because all their children got these jobs and they work, and the grandkids, especially during the summer. And man, we sitting back there in that back seat, and they came on the radio and talking about Elvis had died, and we all was gasping. My grandmother turned around that front seat so fast, I thought she was going to knock hell out of all of us. You know me, I knew how to get out the way because I had enough cousins. I can get out of the way because it's coming from that way first. You already know, okay? Boy, she turned around that backseat. My grandfather, he did that thing he do, like, oh Lord, don't get him. He just gripped the wheel like, okay, because she said, not on my watch. You will not. And she proceeded to tell us the Elvis story. And the Elvis story, and it was Elvis don't care nothing about black. And she gave us what Kanye said. Elvis don't care about black people. And she talked about these, all black people know each other, right? So she had this friend or knew these people that worked for Elvis, and honey, they did all this stuff for Elvis, and honey, Elvis did this, Elvis wouldn't do this, and Elvis wouldn't do that, and they was all loyal to this man and all this kind of stuff. Because black people back, it wasn't but so many black people, they all knew each other. So she gave us an Elvis story, and we was not about to, honey, you ain't watching another Elvis movie. I know y'all ain't get that out that television. Y'all ain't watching no more television. So we got the Elvis story that day. But, and what was the other story I was saying to John Wayne? John Wayne and Elvis? No. So I'm all about the villain. I cannot wait to go and see this. So there are some villains. Getting ready to seek nominations. It's still politics. Remember, I'm trying to give you the adjacent story and help you understand some of the things that I am talking about. Let me grab this. Let me see if I can grab this comment here. Andrea, Michelle isn't having it. Oh, right. Michelle, I'm running for president. Hello, Queen. Hello, Rachel. I remember buying eggs like that, Rachel Pope said. Yeah, you had to go. You weren't going to the grocery store. There's a reason why there weren't grocery stores everywhere, because you had to go all these specific places to get these things. Grocery store came around when things became convenient. When they came up with those good preservatives. Otherwise, things could sit up in the grocery store. When there was a grocery store, but we went to the egg house. I don't know what they call it, the egg house, because it was a big old warehouse, and it was actually over there off of Mableton Parkway. And you went in, you got a case of eggs. My grandparents had 10 children. They went in, they got a case of eggs, and they took that and all of these things that they bought, what they didn't keep at their house to feed all these grandkids, it was divvied up, and we all took portions home. There were periodically we went home with everybody went home with these boxes. It's got the bread in there because it went to the bread house. It's got the bread. It had the eggs. It had all the stuff that came out of my grandmother's garden was in there. Couldn't wait for the first frost. Like right now, I'm like, I want some collard greens like so bad. But those who know, this ain't the time to be cooking. You wait for the frost. That's why why do you think everybody's waiting for the temperature to drop so that we can eat some collard greens? Okay, who's out there still cooking collard greens? No, the frost. You gotta wait. You gotta leave them in the ground to the frost, right? That's why everybody's like, okay, come on, these temperatures need to drop, because that it's after Labor Day. It's time for our food choices to change, right? So along with voting and getting ready to vote, all of these things adjacent. We're talking about the adjacent stories. Mr. Moody Farm was where we got our eggs and vegetables. Our vegetables, Rachel, came out of my grandmother's garden. And then my grandparents, they went fishing every weekend. So there was always fresh fish, and the waters weren't polluted. Well, actually, some of the waters were polluted at that time because we didn't have all the environmental laws that Trump is now overturning. So we're going to soon, the lakes are going to probably start catching on fire again. Again, for those of you that don't remember when our waterways used to be on fire because of all the things that was allowed to spill into the water. And Trump is up there wanting to put his name. Have y'all ever looked at Trump's signature? His signature spells out dummy. It's like, does anybody ever told him that is not a T? You're supposed to cross a T. Why does it look like dummy? It looks like D-U-M-M-Y. Look at this signature. It literally looks like D-U-M-M-Y. I guarantee it's almost like a font, like a special font. But anyway, so that was just some of the things. So, but the question on this, and as we buzz it or bash it, is voting for one of these people. If you're live on the screen, I'm talking about Bernie, Joe, or Elizabeth. Sanders, Biden, or Warren. All of them have been lifelong politicians. And I know there are others. Okay, there are others. They ain't in this picture. But anyway, the question is, which is plan A? If impeachment is plan A, then plan B is to elect one of these people. Because if the impeachment happens, then we know Pelosi going to be president. And then the question is, do we then just let her run and reelect her, right? If they go on, if the impeachment happens, Trump leaves, because you can impeach him. And, hell, they tried to impeach, I don't know, didn't they impeach? Some form of impeachment fell upon Clinton, right? But he still got elected a second term, okay? or maybe that happened in the second term. I don't know. He served 2 terms, so I don't know how much I want to bet on the impeachment. He knows his name, right? I don't know how much I want to bet on the impeachment, because if the impeachment happens, Pence is gonna get caught up in that, and if you grew up around Schoolhouse Rock, once the president is taken down and the vice president is taken down, then Speaker of the House, which is Nancy Pelosi, a Democrat, becomes president. So I don't know if that's plan A, because it's moving kind of slow. And then if that doesn't work, then we go on, we nominate one of these Democratic candidates to run against Trump, right? This person gets a nomination. They then go on the ballot as the Democratic nominee to run against the incumbent, the Republican incumbent, and we then have to vote. So tell me which one is plan A and which one is plan B. Plan B, you use it when you have effed up. Come morning, you're like, oh, what did I just do? And you go for the plan B, and it's like, okay. And then if that don't work, what's plan C? We better have a plan C, because they don't seem to know what they're doing. And because these people aren't truly holding our attention. I'm not seeing enough yard signs. I'm not even seeing enough Trump yard signs. And the Trump people don't want to buy this, or don't want to buy this stuff, because they done found out that Trump is making it all in China. The yard signs, the only thing that's probably American is they wrapping buses, but then they probably get that from China too. I don't know. So they don't want to buy the Trump yard signs and the Trump flags and the Trump water and the Trump all of this Trump T-shirts, because they realize, wait, he not make that, ain't even American made. He ain't even making that in America, right? So, but who's hold? Let me ask you right now, and some of you are in the comments, and some of you are in the comments on Facebook, Periscope, and Twitter. But I'm watching the comments over on the Facebook page, the DryerBuzz Facebook page, if you want to engage while we are live. But who has your attention? More than who has your attention, who has your money? Who are you sending off? Who are you hitting that donate button on? Who are you giving your money to right now? Are you hitting that donate? When Biden says, come on now, y'all got me back in this thing, I need y'all. I need them $5. Are you sending Biden $5? Bernie over there, we get this done with about $27. I know he must have read 27 answers to create buzz, because he out there talking about all the time. He gets it done on your $27. Y'all sitting, and he raises more money than most. But are you going to vote? He done had some stints placed. And one thing I know, when you have stints placed, because my Buzz had stints placed, you can't move. He was incapacitated. When you have stents placed, first of all, they got to put you under somewhat to get that done. That means you got some blockages. Means you were well on your way to a heart attack. You well on your way. Does it smoke? Does the man smoke? Because he always yelling. His veins is always popping. Right? I thought the veins were popping because he was passionate. I didn't know the veins were popping because they were clogged. Okay? Now, he done had his stents. Now, in that time, you can't move when you have stents. You can't move nothing. You just got to lay there. Who's making decisions for his campaign when he did that? Oh, he canceled. He canceled some campaign commitments because he was incapacitated. Right? But then y'all didn't want to vote for McCain. Y'all was saying McCain was out there too. Oh, hell, McCain lived through both of them Obama terms. Okay? Now mind you, he was a senator with that good health care. He lived long. Had he been a president, he probably would have been still here, because they would have given him the presidential cure. Presidents don't just die of things. They live long. Right? Had he become president, and McCain, y'all talking about McCain was too old. Now, I couldn't figure out for the life of me how come a war hero couldn't. Oh, that's right. He selected Palin. Because, he almost had my vote. Because he tweeted me. He was like, well, what do you, because I said, they don't do this, and they don't do that. He said, well, what do you think I don't know if it was somebody in his camp or him or not. I don't know. I got a tweet. I got a bunch of tweets from some people. But I'm not dropping names. I'm just trying to share the game. But McCain lived through both Obama terms and well after. McCain's mama, who we thought was well hopping over the grave, she's still alive. That woman is still here. Okay? And y'all talking about age. First of all, these people are of a generation. Like my friends on here, we talking about those generations that went to the egg house. They are of a generation that you talking about, you over there trying to eat natural and vegan and all those kind of diets that you trying to do because you want to get back. Well, these people had those diets. They didn't have meat every day. Who you had to raise your meat. You had to grow your food. So they weren't eating this stuff like every day. Well, they didn't have it at a convenience and sped up with all kind of chemicals and processes in order for it to be abundantly available every day, 365 days of the year. Always on the shelf. Able to be on the shelf always and forever. They didn't have all them preservatives all up in their body, making them twice the size of what they should be. I hate when I look at them Soul Train videos. Like, well, when were we that skinny, y'all? We didn't have no belly fat. We didn't have no body fat when Soul Train. And it wasn't the dancing. It was simply because that all these crazy preservatives wasn't in the food. Got your body over there preserving fat. I'm like, every time I look at Soul Train, I be like, damn, man, we were skinny. Man, we were skinny. We were skinny. Okay, I'm just saying. It wasn't even the dancing. It was the food. That's why you got to vote. Because we have elected people that allow any and everything to go into our food chains, right? And these same people that we have elected, I don't know why we won't turn over Congress. Well, we did. There was a blue wave. So here we got some new stuff going on. And they're seeing where our food chain has gone. But I'm just asking, and I had a battery warning, and I had, let me put something that's on the screen here. If you guys would bear with me, because I am trying to get back into the habit and the hobby of doing this stuff here. So let me bring that back up there. Buzz. Well, I'm just asking you to buzz it or bash it. You got two choices. You either buzz it or you bash it. Let me know what your opinion is. But are any of these people? Kamala is quite entertaining. I love her arguments. I love her talking points. And watching her, you get a bit of an education. But is she presidential? And unfortunately for her, she decided to ask the audience. Never poll the audience yourself. Certainly not while there are open mics and cameras. She decided to poll the audience about asking the audience, saying that she stepped on stage. She barely stepped on stage, and she was talking like she was going to run off the stage because she knew this wasn't her audience, but yet she had to make this appearance. And she says, let me ask you guys, because they're kind of saying that, some of us are not electable out there. Do you think people are ready? And they were like, no. And then she goes, yes, they are. They were like, no. Be careful polling people in a live or recorded environment. She asked if this body of people, particularly herself and others, were electable, and the shouts from the audience was no. Now, mind you, and these were their people. A Democrat only showing up at Democrat stuff. They may show up at some Republican stuff. Elizabeth, great conversation, great passion, but she still speaks as if I'm coming to save you. And that Hillary had that, I'm doing this for you, but I'm gonna get the most out of it, because it's been on my resume a long time to become a leader of a nation. I don't care which nation. I don't care who vote, women, gay. I don't care, just as long as y'all vote and I get what I got on my. She was trying to fulfill her vision board. She's still out there. She did the round this week. And I was like, oh, Lord, is she finna jump in this race? Because she too probably realized whether this is plan A or plan B, it ain't working. She done went on there talking about, well, the reason I didn't win. But see, the thing about it is, I'm sorry, but you did win. You won the popular vote, which is all you could ask for. You won the popular vote. So I'm going to need you and your daughter over there, you and your rogue child, these Clintons. Y'all need to go and get this still can't come with the full on God honest truth. You won. You conceded too fast. You actually won, but you did not win what actually decides the president, and that was the electoral votes, because you refused to go into those states, and you went into those states too much. Because the one thing they should not have seen that much of you. They probably had to vote. They probably would have voted for you had they not seen as much of you and heard as much of you, because every time you open your mouth, you let people know that you are by and large not for the people, certainly not for women. Okay. And women were like, I think we can make it 4 years, right? We good, right? I think that's what people we. But then they still went out like no, because people need to see us vote, and if we don't vote, they may take us off the road. So let's just go on and vote. But even no matter the outcome, we can make it. We good, right? That was the conversation. It's like you got to vote because if you don't vote, you know they might you got to go through the process of re-register. Nobody want to do all that. That's like let's just go get in line. Let's just go ahead and vote for her. Because you can't vote for Trump. Because you can't vote with races. You can't do that, right? So let's just go ahead and vote for Hillary. Like, because I don't want to have to go and I'm not trying to have to go back to the DMV or wherever they register. I ain't trying. I already had to go back to the post office and tell them, I promised to go to the mailbox. I don't want to have to tell them I promise to continue to vote, right? Like, let's just go ahead and vote for her. She ain't bit more about women, than she don't connect to us at all. This is on her vision board, right? We know that, right? So she lost. She lost because she didn't go in the right states. But again, what's Plan A? Democrats, I ask you, what's Plan A? Is it electing one of these people or impeachment? We need to know what Plan A. Which one is Plan A? Which one is Plan B? Because if it's impeachment, then I need to be calling those that have already elected and make sure they down for the cause. If it's Plan B, then I need to be putting some money behind these candidates and I need to pick one. I know it's early on, but why there's still so many in the race. Now let me tell you, on a troll perspective, I like Beto O'Rourke. I like watching him troll Trump or his whomever's running his Twitter account. Like for every tweet that Trump does, he does 5 in response. And I'm like, well, dang, okay. But all you're doing is entertaining us. For the most part, the most of you are just simply entertaining us. And I'm gonna get off of it. Just let me know what's Plan A and what's Plan B. Speaking of having a Plan A and a Plan B before my battery die out, before my phone get too hot, let me see if I can do something to decrease it because the heat is coming on. Hold on, guys. Okay, I don't think I have anything open. All right, my phone is probably going to end here just simply because I want to talk about this because it's definitely hot and I got a battery warning. But on a national stage, let me talk to my Atlanta folks. Let me talk to my Atlanta peeps right now. On a national stage, those of you that are live, you see what I put on the screen. My Dan Quinn and my Julio Jones. Atlanta Falcons. Right? I decided I'm going to stay on the Falcons bandwagon as long as I can. And man, I am hanging off. This bandwagon, about to fall off. But I'm so concerned because one thing the Atlanta Falcons have been waiting for and anxiously anticipating is to become part of the national NFL conversation. For people to look down here in Atlanta and say, man, they got a football team down there. We got a football team. We got some talent on this team. We have a young coach, which I absolutely love, but there's so much. Last night, listening, I listen to sports 24/7, but on the national conversation, when asked about the Atlanta Falcons, I heard something that resonated over the last couple of games, and when he said he does not believe, and I don't know who the host is, I don't know his name, when he says, I will tell you right now, this team is not going to be able to save Dan Quinn's job. That is the narrative right now. I don't know what's going on with the defense. I know there's been issues with the offense. We've had to change coordinators so many times. Hashtag sorry to this man. Sorry to this man. Hashtag defend the Quinn. I don't know if we can defend him. And I don't know when teams hire these coaches, how long they get. I know there's a contract signed. I know it has clauses, renewals, and all this kind of stuff. Last year when it came time, I know there was a lot of pressure on him. Arthur Blank, who is a very emotional governor. I don't know if they were calling themselves owners. They start calling themselves governors as if the word governor didn't have as many triggers as the word owners. But see, they don't know yet how to ask folk, are we offending you? Excuse me, but governor offends us just as much as owner, okay? But you do own the team, so I can't be too mad at it. These people sign on for you to own them. You buy them. All right, I'm just saying. I don't know. We don't need a cute word to a non-triggering word to describe that. You bought these gentlemen because there ain't no females on there yet. You bought Julio. You bought Matt Wright. In fact, you bought all of them. Okay, and you leased Dan Quinn because apparently y'all looking at when the lease gonna run, when the lease gonna end. But the Falcons, the conversation to be on a national stage this weekend, tomorrow, 24 hours after this podcast, they are headed back to the stadium where they played the Super Bowl in the big 28-3. They cannot, by any means, come home with a loss. If they come home with a loss, it would be such a disappointment. The last time we put this much pressure on them that they could not lose, they won. I don't know if we have to do it every week, but the fact of the matter that people are saying that this is the season, because last season when there was overwhelming losses, Dan Quinn was pressured. You're going to make some change. Dan Quinn fired everybody, hired a bunch of new people, paid some folks some extensions, got some folks some money, did some contracts. They made Julio wait to this year. He held out. Matt Ryan held out last year. A few others held out, and now they got some of the best talent that's out there. What they are last year, they said, oh, it was injuries. This year, you got a new person in this position, got a new person in that position. The coach doesn't stop being the head coach and then took over what's going on over here, so he's preoccupied with that. And nothing is simply seeming to work. Last battery warning. Nothing is working, and therefore the victories, the wins are not coming up in the win column. They're losing. They're not even. And then somebody had the audacity to schedule the Saints, both Saints games, which is our rival, which is really the real enjoyment to be supporting the Falcons, is enjoying the rivalry. That ain't happening until November. I don't know who did that. I don't know. Maybe this, but to find out that this whole season, that people outside Atlanta, outside of Georgia, are looking at the Atlanta Falcons as to whether or not they can save Dan Quinn's job, because apparently they know that another losing season, even though we went to the Super Bowl in his second year, but everybody knows the Super Bowl is just some promotional thing that happens at the end of the season, and perhaps the decision as to who's going to be the underdog in the Super Bowl is made well in advance of the season. Some are saying it has to do with new coaches. Some are saying it has to do with new stadiums. Some are saying it has to do with whoever needs the most publicity so that the NFL reach the best benefit. Look how early they made the announcement as to who would be the halftime. So the NFL is trying to save its product, but there are those that are saying the Falcons need to be concerned with saving its coach, because you done paid all this money, so you better know somebody's out there soliciting, because they don't think about letting go of coach unless somebody's like, here's what I can do with all that talent you got. Don't think that Arthur Blank bought that yacht. He might be cruising with some folk. I'm just saying. Okay, we done built the new stadium. They won a championship. Now there's a championship that has happened in the stadium, but daggone it, he owns football teams, but this is the one that he quote unquote needs this stuff to happen. I don't want to say he loves one more than the other. I do know that the Falcons locker room is twice, maybe 2-3 times size the soccer locker room. I'm trying to figure out, well, hell, the soccer team are champions. Why they got the little locker room back there in the corner? Well, they ain't got a kitchen and chefs and all that kind of stuff. They just come in, play the game, and get the heck on. 90 minutes. I'm like, they probably spend 30 in the locker room, but they are the champions. Falcons ain't. Okay, and probably not. People are saying this team not going to the playoffs. But there are some scenarios that said maybe they get a win, get another win, and another win, and another win, and like things will change. But it has to start with one game at a time. It start with the next game, as Dan Quinn used to say. He used to say, right now he's running around here all kinds of deflated. And he used to be the most optimistic coach out there. Oh my God, I used to love listening to Dan Quinn's at the podium. They would tweet, Dan Quinn at the podium. Man, I would go and listen because he would have such a pep talk. I mean, man, your quarterback done got sacked 4, 5 times. We're done with this game. We're gonna focus on the next game. We're gonna work on the strategy. We're gonna improve what we need to improve. We're gonna do what we gotta do. And people and now Dan Quinn is like, I guess y'all just want Dan Quinn. I said Dan Quinn better talk about Dan Quinn better get pissed off. Dan Quinn go to the podium. I know y'all want to see us pissed off. He used the exact words. I'm like, uh-oh. He said, I know y'all want to see us pissed off on and off the field. Yes, hell we do. Dude, you better get mad. They are talking on a national stage that this team can't save your job. Y'all better be on that bus, plane, train, however y'all rolling to Texas. Okay? And notice, don't nobody know, don't nobody care. Listen, y'all better make this happen. And as a matter of fact, as we are talking about this Buzz of the Basher, there is a full-on celebration of the NFL. Now I know some people still in their feelings about whether to take a knee or not. And I know I just talked a whole lot about football as if I'm watching it. Yes, I'm watching it because I have yet to receive the manifesto to tell me which word are we taking a knee on and when black folk gonna stop singing the doggone national anthem for the NFL. Okay? When these players gonna all not show up, So anyway, I'm watching football. I watch football tomorrow. But I just need to know. And here again, what's plan A, what's plan B? Because all I'm seeing, and I have picked up on all of this, and the only reason I'm talking about football again and blogging about football again, because there's a whole lot of good topics. There's a whole lot of good drama going on with our Atlanta Falcons and with the NFL. But there's an event going on today here in Atlanta and probably all around. This is apparently the 100th season of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, black folk, we don't celebrate centennial stuff. Okay? Only thing we celebrate on the centennial level is our freedoms. Because if you celebrate something at a centennial level, you probably didn't have a whole lot of black folk up in it. So NFL, y'all can miss us with that one. Okay? You don't even want us to kneel when people still out here killing. So we're not gonna celebrate your centennial, your centennial, right? Now we will come on to the cookout. But then, okay, I'm not going to trigger nobody. Let me not trigger nobody, right? We might stop at a cookout. There might be a whole bunch of Black Falcon fans out there at the cookout, but please don't roll up on these people. Let me just tell y'all, please don't roll up on a black person talking about 100 years of the NFL because we saw Brian's song, okay? We saw Brian Piccolo and Gail Sanders, who is now one of the biggest IT tech guys out there, left football and went on to be a pioneer in technology. Black folk don't celebrate that. Black folk don't even know about that. But do know he went on to be one of the biggest pioneers when Brian Piccolo died, and after facing all that racism and integrating football, he went on to become a tech guy. Started a tech company because he knew he had enough foresight. And for those of you that don't know, for another little tidbit, and I'm so glad it became a meme. One of the things we shared during the Popeyes sandwich is that Hank Aaron owns a lot of Popeyes restaurants, so it was okay. You were buying black when you were buying chicken sandwiches. All right, I just want to talk about that. I'll be tweeting about it in my timeline. Please follow me on Twitter. Go to DryerBuzz.com and you can decide. You heard me mention we were on this platform, that platform. Whatever's your favorite, wherever you scroll and troll, you can filter it for DryerBuzz. See when we go live. See what we're adding as far as content. You can go to DryerBuzz.com and sign up in our email. And you will get our email list. And so if you've heard of this or heard of that, it'll always be in your email. You won't have to go far to find it. This has been an edition of Buzz It or Bash It, Buzz It or Bash It before the phone dies. I'm going to let you guys get out of here. We went about one and a half hours here on our weekly review. I'm getting the hiccups, just a little something that you can listen to while you are out there with the professionals. Please return to the professionals when it comes to your hair and your nail care. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm not going back up in a nail salon for a while. I am doing the drugstore variety. I just put on my third set. I'm rocking my third set of staying out of the nail salons. Nobody has had the opportunity to disrespect me or my dollar. I went up in the drugstore. I just picked a nice uh, color and selection. Those I put those on yesterday. Loving it. Shout out to my good friend Dia, because I was like, y'all, please tell me there's an alternative to dealing with these folks in these nail salons. They have gone to some kind of training where they are out there trying to disenfranchise, marginalize, and disrespect black women. And so I'm not giving them. I'm not giving them my money. I'm not giving them my money. They fast talk. You want to quote one price, and then you get to the register. They done added a whole ass $30, and I'm like, no, no. We gonna fight today. And then I'm like, wait, I ain't got no bail money, so we ain't gonna fight today. But I won't be back. But I won't be back. I won't be back until and you know what? And don't even you ain't gotta hit me off with a nail person, cause if they're not trying to do it for an exchange, and I'm just saying, and if I had a good one, but you know what? I don't even want that stuff on my nails. I don't. I do want a place where I can get just a nice natural manicure, because I'm trying to let the damage grow out from dude putting that acrylic. When I said I don't want no acrylic on my nail, and I'm like, wait a minute, okay, now you done just messed my nail up. Now I gotta have a set. Okay, no, I'm out. But anyway, but I am gonna find a nice place to do a nice natural manicure. That's all I want. When I want to put on some nails and some color, like when I'm going to go in the kitchen and my hands gotta be all in the shot, I'm gonna pop on some of these. And these are Impress nails. Impress, IMPRESS. They have a whole influencer thing going on out there. I'm not an influencer yet, but I'm gonna make that connection, honey, because I like this. I really do. I like this. I'm sitting there watching my show. You just do a little bit of nail care and pop them on. They last. The first set, I put it on at the wrong time before getting into my cooking routine. But the next set, I put it on following all the instructions and all the hacks that everybody gave, and it lasted 2 weeks. In fact, only one came off yesterday. So I could have did another hack and put that one back on. But I was like, no, let me go and do a fresh set, change up the color. And I like that I don't have to go get my nails all drilled off. I can just pop these on. I'm certainly not trying to do a commercial yet. But I like it. My hands don't feel like they've been abused. They don't hurt. They're not bleeding. I don't have to worry about them. They've been infected with nothing, none of that kind of stuff, and so forth and so on. And you won't have to worry about that when you go to somebody that appreciates your loyalty. You won't have to deal with any of that. I'm just traumatized right now. But when you go and support somebody that appreciates your loyalty, and give you good nail care, not just trying to get you done so they can get on to the next one. So, but anyway, on that note, guys, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I do thank you for those of you that have hung on with me throughout this entire thing. For those of you that are going to catch the replay. For those of you who are going to wait around and see what we're getting ready to announce for November 9th, I'll give you a clue. I'll tell you a little bit about it real quick. If we cut off, we cut off. On November the 9th, we're launching our new course. It's called Wake Up Famous. Wake Up Famous. Wake Up Famous. I literally woke up famous with everybody knowing my name, simply because I helped pioneer this blogging game and came out here telling amazing stories of people, pioneers and activists, and people, and giving you timelines that you can scroll down and get amazing sensations from, see yourselves and all that. Because when I started 20 years ago, you couldn't log online and see that. We weren't all up in the marketing like we are today, and to be able to have impact to some of that change. I'm so proud that younger me that was brave enough to do all of that, and so forth and so on. So on that note, let me see what I need to put on the screen here. Let's see. Bear with me here, y'all. I'm trying to figure out. So this was a special edition of How to Get Out of Bed. It is called Buzz It or Bash It. Buzz It or Bash It. Well, we just do a little bit of a review of things that went down our timeline and made us just think about some things. Just made us think about some things and so forth and so on. So on that note, do me a favor again, go over to DryerBuzz. And again, I'm just trying to get you high I'm trying to get you high on life, y'all. Hey, it's Yolanda with a quick reminder for you to go over to DryerBuzz.com. But I want to tell you, if you yourself want to rock a podcast, if you want to rock a podcast, perhaps you want to rock social media, maybe you want to rock a hashtag, you want to rock networking, but then also maybe you want to wake up famous. If you want to do any of that, all you have to do is go to not DryerBuzz.com, but AskDryerBuzz.com. Ask DryerBuzz.com. There's some early options over there for you buzzing right now, and there is more to come. All you got to do is go to AskDryerBuzz.com. Can't remember that? Then do this.
Go now to DryerBuzz.com and follow at DryerBuzz on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's all about the buzz.